What's up with it, man? Polo Sports Talking Entertainment. Be um, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, also hit the notification so that you're able to get each and every one of my videos and all of my content. I got some breaking news according to Adrian Wojnarowski. Wizards star Bradley Beal will undergo season-ending surgery on his injured left wrist. This is also according to Shams Arena as well, uh, it stated that the procedure will it will repair a torn uh, scapular ligament. And Mark Stein had reported earlier today that evaluations were going on with Bill's wrist, and with the Wizards hoping to avoid surgery and considering alternative treatment options so that he'll be able to get back on the floor. However, it appears that Bill and the team have decided that surgery would be the best choice to address the injury. Now, look, just when you thought that things couldn't get any worse, this is an even bigger blow right here for the Wizards. Uh, you know, they just had an incident that just took place with one of their assistant coaches, in which it was last night. Matter of fact, he had to confront a fan because the fan, you know how fans get right, uh, behind the bench, and saying stupid stuff, to the players, and he came to the defense of it. And I have no problem with what he did. Sometimes, man, these fans can become ignorant, and you know, on top of that, Bill, I've already addressed the fact that Bill and Spencer Dinwiddie have not getting have not been getting along, much like everybody else on the team has not been getting along with Spencer Dinwiddie. Um, this diagnosis, I think that a lot of people are keying in on this too. This diagnosis can also change a lot of things for the Wizards at the trade deadline. Um, you know, there was a whole type of rumors circulating that they were trying to get their hands on Jeremy Grant and Sabonis, but we already know what happened with Sabonis. Sabonis then went to the Kings. Um, you know, he's going to be an unrestricted free agent this offseason. Uh, and that will be by declining his 36.4 million player option that stretches out to 22 and 23. Uh, the Washington Wizards are focused on re-signing Bill. I mean, he's going to be 29. You would think for as long as he's been with Washington, he was older, but he's still in his 20s, still 29. This is not a good situation. Um, Now, if let me put it like this. Let me put it like this. Let's put it like this. If there's a situation where the Washington Wizards start winning, then okay, that can be looked at as okay. Bill possibly. What's up with it? Be more legend. Bill could possibly be part of the problem. And I hate to put it that way. However, if they go in the case where Washington starts struggling and everything like that, another thing we got to look at is okay, are they going to go ahead? They're going to shake things up because their whole plan when they got guys like Kuzma, KCP, Harold, and Dinwiddie there, along with Bill being in the midst as well. Their whole goal was to be a championship contender. And then on top of that, you throw in the fact, Wes Unseld Jr. is there. That was their whole goal, was to be a championship contender. And like I said before, they went from first to worst. Go look at my earlier videos, and then there was somebody that did not believe me about. I think it was Jay Steve. Shout out to Jay Steve or whatever. At first, initially, he didn't believe. Well, I'm not gonna say he didn't believe me, but it was just that he couldn't believe what was actually going on, the turmoil that was going on. But it was real, and so now you're put in a situation. If they don't do anything with Dinwiddie, you're put in a situation now where, okay, these guys are going to have to play with each other. These guys are not getting along. Montrezl Harrell uh, doesn't seem motivated anymore. Uh, Kyle Kuzma is it's just like he's just playing just to play or whatever. And none of these guys, in my opinion, look like they have a sense of urgency. You said Bill ran Wall out of Washington. Um, John Wall actually ran himself out of Washington. You know, um, and it might have been a case of a little bit both. Sometimes things don't work out, but John Wall didn't make it much better, being the fact that he was hurt, and also, uh, you know, a lot of he they were talking about John Wall's attitude and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Which a lot of that I didn't really agree with that because I like John Wall. I think the stigma was put on him about how he was as a player and all this other stuff. And I think the biggest thing that happened, Be More Legend, was when he came out and he stated that he was the best point guard in the league and stuff like that. And so after that, there was a big ass target on his back, especially when you considered at that point in time the guards that he had to contend with, in terms of point guard. Um, but I knew it wasn't going to work out, anyways or whatever, because he after a while John Wall just couldn't stay healthy, and now he was kind of his own detriment. But to say that Bradley Beal ran him out, I can't really put that on Bradley Beal. Like I was talking about with C.J. McCollum earlier, guys like Bradley Beal, they're not guys that are going to get you over the hump. They're going to get their buckets. They can score, and they'll do just enough to be somewhat decent or whatever. But they're not guys that are going to truly take that team up to the level to where it needs to be. So with Bradley Beal being out, yeah, it's a blow. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, with him there, they weren't even that much better. You said a healthy John Wall, I'll take over Bill. Absolutely, absolutely. And despite what we want to say about John Wall, when he was healthy, hey, he he was a leader. He was a leader. He was passionate. Now they didn't, you know, they weren't as successful as we would have liked them to be, but a healthy John Wall, because see, John Wall was starting to, improve on some things when he started to have his injuries and stuff like that. When he came in, of course, just like every other player that comes in, and I talk about it all the time, they have raw ability, and then on top of that, it's kind of it looks like out of control, but it's just they're young and they're putting things together. Where John Wall, his maturation process was just starting to come as he was maturating as a player. And once he started to maturate as a player, then that's when the injury started to take place because he was starting to get his shot together. He was starting to, kind of settle down. The game was starting to slow down for him a little bit, and then all of a sudden, the injury started just happening one by one. Came back, tried to come back, and it was a sad thing to see, because I like John Wall, and then on top of that, when he got away from the game for a long period of time, then we had to look at it from that aspect, because he was away from the game for a long period of time, kind of like the same situation uh, with Clay Thompson to a certain extent, but at the same token, their situation was a little bit different. Uh, Clay Thompson is a multiple time champion, but John Wall wasn't, and on top of that, Washington Wizards they didn't really have a great situation to, not like Golden State. You know what I'm saying? Nothing like Golden State, at least right now. But it's a blow. But we got to ask ourselves a question. We got to ask ourselves a question. Now, what's going to happen now? Guys don't want to play with Spencer Dinwiddie. They think that Spencer Dinwiddie is a shell of himself. He's not getting along with the players. Why? I don't know why. Like that to me is crazy to think that. If anybody that I thought that they weren't going to get along with, I thought it would have been somebody like Montrezl Harrell or even Kyle Kuzma. But Spencer Dinwiddie, that shocked the shit out of me. Because Spencer Dinwiddie, when he was starting to elevate as a player when he was in Brooklyn, and then he ended up getting hurt or whatever. But they're just not gelling, and there's no cohesiveness in there. There's no chemistry there. Like when I was looking at them when they were playing Milwaukee, I mean, you could just see. I'm glad they showed that game on TV too. I'm glad they showed that game on TV because I wanted people to see. A lot of people didn't believe me about the Be More Legend. A lot of people didn't believe me about Spencer Dinwiddie not getting along with his teammates. I told people that ahead of time. And Lord behold, you could just see it on the floor. They just were not getting along. Wall still got that street ball type of game. Wizard, Wizard talent, a dump. Yeah, the Wizards front office isn't the best in the world, and it goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Be More Legend. They don't know how to develop. Ticket man. He shout out to Ticket man. Ticket man always brings up a good point when it comes to things like player development. It's a huge thing, and I know you're like, well, Polo, what the hell does development have to do with injuries and stuff like that? Well, think about it. If a guy goes down, you understand what I mean? If a guy goes down and you have a young guy that's behind him in that position who's flourishing in practice, who might be seizing his opportunity, and then next thing you know, the next man up, he gets in there and he's young, and then all of a sudden he starts taking the team by storm. and all of a sudden there's an uplift that goes there, sort of like the situation that happened in with the Cleveland Cavaliers and Colin Sexton. Well, hey, that has a lot to do with development because guess what? You have a guy that you've been working with and everything. He probably hasn't been playing that much, things of that nature, and now he just steps right in and continues to pick up where we left off and actually do better. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The development and look, the Golden State Warriors by far have the best developmental developmental team when it comes to player development. Just in my opinion, is Golden State. As I mentioned earlier, these other teams are on the come up in terms of their development. And like right now, you see the poor ones. You're starting to see all of the poor ones starting to get exposed and stuff like that. But a lot of the ones where they used to be, at the top, at the cream of the crop when it came to player development, they're at the bottom. The Lakers, I mean, yeah, you got Phil Handy there, but the Lakers have not, they haven't developed as good a talent for quite some time. Even though they got the championship and all that other stuff or whatever, for the most part, they've always added older players and stuff like that, or guys that used to be or has been and stuff like that, just to get to the championship. But with Golden State, it was much different. They developed Steph, they developed Clay, they developed Draymond, they developed all these different players there. You had a few guys that were that used to be in different places like the Andre Iguodala's and Sean Livingston going way back when, and the David West and stuff like that. But for the most part, they developed those guys, and you see it now. You see it now with the Golden State Warriors now because guess what? You still got Wiseman who's hopefully going to show up in a little bit. No timetable on his return, but you have Jordan Poole. You got Gary Payton Jr. You have all these young guys there that they're development. They tried to do it with Eric Pascal, but he's in Utah now. But either way, they continue to develop talent, and on top of that, this is the icing on the cake, and this is my point that I was referring to earlier. So Bradley Beal is hurt. Who's going to step in to pretty much fill that role? Well, is that guy going to be able to maintain and even boost your team, or is it going to be kind of pretty much the same, or are you going to get even worse? Well, with Golden State, that didn't happen. You know why? Draymond's out. Guess what? They still doing good. Uh, what's it called? They don't have Wiseman, of course. They're still doing good. They were without Klay Thompson. They were still doing good. This person goes out. Guess what? They're still doing good. It's the same thing with Phoenix. A person goes out. Devin Booker was out for a while. Guess what? Still doing good. Jacob Jennings, I see you in the building. Hey, Jacob, man. Hey, I gotta ask you something, man. Hey, you going to the fight? Hey, if you go to the fight, hey, come with me, big dog. Come with me, big dog. I'm asking you on here. I'm inviting you. You know what I'm saying? That fight is on April the 16th, man. I got to shout out to Everything Boxing and Sports, the brother Keon. He gave everybody, a link to get the tickets for a decent price if you haven't got it already. Oh man, come on, be more legends. The Ugas and Spence fight. Ugas from Cubana and Earl the True Spence. All right, man. Come on, man. I want to see you there. Shout out to TJ. Shout out to three guys in particular. TJ Sports Tapes. If you haven't subbed to his channel, definitely go sub to the brother TJ. Always bringing day to day boxing content. Shout out to Keon over there at Everything Boxing and Sports. He broke the news too, and then of course the big homie Blue Blood. Definitely go sub to all of their channels. Brothers affiliated with the LDBC, man. But yeah, I'm going, Jacob. So I wanted to see if you wanted to roll. And I'm planning on, I'm debating on whether or not I'll go live while I'm there. You know what I'm saying? But of course, I'll be able to let y'all know when I'm in the house and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's right here. And they made a good point, Jacob. Whenever Errol Spence fights here in Dallas, hey, am I lying, Jacob? Whenever Errol Spence fight here in Dallas, man, it's bigger than Vegas. It ain't even crack. Hey, look, whenever he fights here, I'm telling you, that shit get lit. You better get on that shit right away. I'm telling everybody, you better get on that shit right away. You said, unification, yeah. Okay, what's up with it, J. Steves? I see you in the building. Hey, J. Steves, I told you. What did I tell you, J. Steves? What did I tell you? I told you his wrist was hurt. No, I think I was telling somebody else. They didn't know if I told you he was going to be out. And now they were getting ready to trade him anyways, but now he's injured. So now he's lost his trade value. And he's an unrestricted free agent for next year. He got that $36.4 million dollar contract. Now a lot of people felt like he should have went to Golden State or whatever. Everybody thought that they were going to Golden State. I remember, Ticket was saying that it was a good move. I didn't feel like it was because Bradley Beal, for what Golden State was trying to do at that point in time, I said no. Yeah, hey, I told you, but look, I didn't want to really be right though. I hate what's happening to the Wizards right now. Jay Steves, I know you saw it. The assistant coach jumped into the stands and had to get on one of y'all fans in there for talking reckless, because the fans aren't even happy right now in Washington. Right now, hey, look, no, what you know what? I don't think Thurman is quite ready for him yet, Jacob. I don't think Thurman is quite ready for him.